chance at a return. Here they'll start this drive at their own 25.
VitaminEnergy.com. Sip the juice. Robo code's going to be dropping soon. In the meantime, don't wait. Get your Vitamin Energy now over at VitaminEnergy.com. 260 milligrams of all natural caffeine, vitamins and nutrients. As you know, help with focus, mood, performance in the gym, things of that nature.
Dropping back, it's Underwood.
Give it a shot, everybody. VitaminEnergy.com.
Throws to the tight end.
First,
and the defense making a play and getting a hand on that pass.
This is the matchup everyone was excited to see in this football game, and it doesn't take long to get to it. One of the best receivers in the game, one of the best corners in the game, one-on-one, quarterback taking a shot, and early on, it's the corner who wins, knocking it away for the incompletion. That won't be the last time these two guys go toe-to-toe, but this is where your eyes need to be all game long.
Hookem is hooking up with some big plays in the passing game.
Finding their guys down the field. You think about offenses that Texas usually have, some form of spread, and then find those elite guys on the outside that can win those matchups for you and make those big plays.
And he's very fortunate to get it back to the line of scrimmage, greeted by a sea of defenders. Didn't get much on first down and 2nd and 9. Wants to go up top.
Are you going to take your bride with you, show her around the facility?
He's got him. And he goes down after making the grab. Picked up a few, but he's still short of the first down marker.
The quick passing game does several things. One, it doesn't let the pass rush get to those
I think so. I thought it was just
coming out so
big
fast
money
they can't
booster
get
boots.
there.
But
And then
hey, you know what?
it gets me ahead
We
of the
know
sticks.
teams
I don't
will
have to
be
worry
there.
about getting in
They
long
got
yardage
cameras
and
on their phone
predictable
with that.
situations.
It's a nice job by the tight end there, just whipping his head around. They didn't need that many yards, so that's an easy completion to get the first down.
And the Longhorns have this offense rolling.
You shake them down for information. They used to shake us down for information.
It's caught. It's Davis. He makes the stop at the 33, but 10 yards on that play and the first down. The Longhorns come to the line with a fresh set of downs.
He was asked about Conrad Hussey. What's he going to say?
They'll go to the ground.
He was dismissed from the team.
Trying to pound their way forward and pick up a couple to the 31.
And the defense doing a great job committing to the run. When you commit to the run like this, obviously, you can give up some plays in the passing game.
But I am glad you
stop
asked
the run
about
first.
Raheem Brown, even though
Takes
it's
the
not his
handoff.
position.
It's Jordan.
Technically,
Cross that arm out. Pulled down after a pickup of 4 to the 27.
And those plays from a defensive perspective, man, they're just super annoying because now I'm in the worst spot ever. 3rd and manageable. Like, I don't know if you're passing, don't know if you're running. So nice job by this offense keeping this defense off balance and creating a 3rd down opportunity that's in their favor.
Dropping back, it's Underwood. Fires to the right. It's complete. Touchdown, Texas! Nice catch and good work afterwards to get it into the end zone.
Well, you know this offensive coordinator strips his opening 10, 15 plays, and he didn't even need that. They went 9 plays and scored a touchdown. Everything working perfectly. They looked like a well-oiled machine early in this game offensively.
Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to
First 21
protect
years of
this
his life, he
lead.
was Jeremiah. Now he's like, I'm going to be Jerry Wilson. But he is.
Jerry Wilson.
On the move from inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know what he's doing there. So anyway, we have a lot of opinions on Florida State defensive backs' names, from Jeremiah to Duty. Like we got some opinions. But yeah, so it sounds like, as long as he's healthy,
Quarterback making checks.
is one of your starting quarterbacks. I mean, Surtain already called him the leader of the secondary. And he's been there for 2 months. You don't bench the leader of the secondary. They're not second string. So that's not his stutter. Well, we knew that. He didn't come here to sit the bench. That's inevitable anyway. So Jerry Wilson is starting it. It sounds like every single other position is up for grabs.
Man, that's not the attempt you wanted to start the game.
And
First
I think,
pass of the game,
so starting with
interception. Man,
pass him
this is where you go over the
and he
sidelines,
said
you have a good
Shy's
talk
in
with
the
your
mix.
coach, you settle down. It's not the end of the
Being
world.
cagey,
It's
like
one
that's what you
pass,
was
but
like.
that is not the start you had in mind today.
Nobody secured a starting spot before the 2016 season as a big, huge
And you want to run
$8
the
start down.
That's okay. You'll take some of it.
For him,
But
and
if they
him
start to
as he
add
was
up
saying
down
it,
the road,
he's
obviously,
like, yeah, no
you might
positions
want to
are
think
grabs.
about it out a little bit.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, I bet Dalvin.
Wants to
Dalvin's
throw.
probably
It's
smart,
Underwood.
right? But anyway, it could be
He
that. It
just
could be
missed
being
the
cagey
target
about
on that one. Gotta put it on his body.
Well, on that last play, you
But
didn't
I
see
think
the
there's some
quarterback
validity
be a
to the
little bit
fact that he's
more
having to
accurate, give
fight
his
for a
guy
job.
chance to make the play. That ball wasn't
Which isn't a
close
great
to his
sign.
intended target spot.
But it's also
Third and
defense.
long
It's
from
not
the
like he's playing the
30-yard
same
line, and
defense
this
he's played
defense
for years. So
hoping to
he's
knock them out of
too.
field goal range.
He's learning, just like
Unloads
Kirkland,
to the
just
wideout.
like
All
Ashton
kinds of
Gardner,
room to throw that one in
or
there.
little people like that. So anyway, so I thought that was illuminating enough that he basically said Shy's in the mix.
We
Not like
asked
Shy's
earlier
played
this
well,
week, who's
or
your
Shy's a
favorite
starter.
receiver?
Just
And of
Shy's in
course
the
he
mix.
said the open
We know
one,
he's
but
played
we
a lot
know
of
who
football
he really
here,
wants to
but
go
he's
to
still
on
got to get
third
better
down.
too. That's
The
like
best one.
basically the exact
I think the open one, obviously the politically
Yeah,
correct answer,
Shaheed.
but you want to find the guy that you got
So
that
for
great
halfway through
chemistry
camp,
with. You know
hopefully
exactly where he's
he'll
going
end
to
up
be.
being
You got
a
that bond
good.
and that trust.
He'll have a good senior year.
Finds his big
And then the
tight
other
end.
quarterback spot,
They
man,
go
like,
up top to get it down
again, I
to
don't
the
know how much
5-yard
stock
line
people
as
put
they
into
try to pay off
who
this
was named
drive.
first.
And this
He was
offense
asked
shows they
about the
will be
quarterback
aggressive on
position
first and
outside
goal.
of
They
Jerry
get the
Wilson.
completion. Listen,
It was
games
with
come down
Darius,
to executing
roll
in the
balls,
red zone.
and then
This is a
Arnett.
big spot.
And then he went
Picked
on.
up some of what they needed on first
He's
down.
not
Now it's
the list
2nd and goal
to
from
talk
the
about
5.
Arnett. Said that he's, he's not scared. He doesn't play like a freshman.
Let's it go to the end zone.
He's been impressive as hell for a freshman, and he's definitely has the chance to be in the line. Is an exact quote. Like he might be in the line. So again, Arnett Jones, I think, I don't know if he's going to play against Alabama. I think he's going to play this year. And he mentioned Charles Lester and Kai Bates. No Ricky Knight.
Peek in the backfield.
And
You lose the midfield.
like if Ricky Knight doesn't have a chance to play, don't be Mike Gravel and list 9 running backs. Just list the guys that have a chance to play.
That last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd.
We saw him last year. But either way, so those are the 5, those are the 6 corners.
He'll start the return
And I guess
inside
he
the
didn't mention
spot.
Edwin Joseph, did he?
Not a lot of space to be found.
Joseph is going to play. So I don't know if that's because he's more of a slot guy, or maybe he's working at rover or safety, whatever they're doing with Edwin Joseph. I think Edwin Joseph is going to play a lot. In fact, in that video where Jerry Wilson intercepts it, runs it back to the house, which we're assuming is the first team defense, because we saw some people on the field. And enjoys still.
The Seminoles will hustle to the
My
line.
like your dog and I was like,
I don't know that throw. I mean, when they talked about it, it's not like he made some really incredible jump on an out route.
To the
It
air
was
on
like right
second
over the
down.
middle of the field, no receiver.
Fires to the tight end. And a
But
good
that's what I
job
was
of
saying. I
coverage
think
by
if
that
you
defense. Just a
pan
short
back,
pickup.
there is a
And
chance
the
he's throwing to
Seminoles
another
come to the
receiver.
ball trying to pick up
Find
this
that
third
receiver
and
to
short.
BC. You know what I'm saying? And that's the play that Jerry Wilson made, was that, number one, he either ran the route, which is good
He
too,
wants it all.
and just got there before the receiver did, or he has
huge play, and they
he
get
went
it
over
all
his
the way
man
to the
and chucked
45-yard
around to
line.
a guy 10 yards behind
No
him.
need to show urgency.
Either way, they were
Get
very,
another
very excited about that
play
play.
off before the
But
clock
Edwin
hits
Joseph
zero.
was on the field for that. So I'm assuming Edwin Joseph is going to be a pretty big part of the secondary. And also, I assume Shaheed Brown will be too, and Earl Little. And obviously Jerry Wilson.
Now the
But
challenge
these other
here,
guys
they've
are going to be
taken a
playing, and
punch.
you just wonder what the...
Can't let it get out of hand.
Not with the
We
tempo,
start
just
the second.
like what number they are in line. Like if they're so you play a 3-3-5, so you have 5 DBs on the field almost all the time. Sometimes you'll have 6. Where is Arnett right now? Is he number 6? Is he number 9? Is he number 4? Like if we were halfway through camp, we don't know, but it is nice that there are a lot of names that can go out there, because I think there is, that is depth. I think it's quality
and
depth.
that's where he goes out of bounds.
Grill
And
and
the
mentioned
Knowles in a good
the
spot
banged
here
up,
with
which is
second
funny.
and short.
He mentioned somebody else has been dealing with injuries, and the media liaison on site
Grabbed in the backfield.
staring at the
It's
ceiling
open.
with bricks.
They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the
Keep
first
giving
down.
us information.
Here's this offense with a fresh set
Understand
of
what
downs.
is he, 4
And that's a
38-year-old
really
man
good job by the
that's
QB
been
getting
he
the ball
played the
out of his
NFL for
hands,
10 years,
knowing
has
where
been
the
coaching.
sticks
Like,
are, getting the
it's
first down. And they
okay.
saw
You can
something they
say,
like because here they
look
come,
at Jabril
right
Peppers
back on the
spinning.
ball to run another play.
The world keeps spinning.
Looking to
Promise.
pass. It's
And
moved.
it's not like a rental car.
And this will be incomplete. A big hit here forces second down.
Yeah,
Big
but
tight ends
yeah,
out
it's
there
not like
making
the
catch, and you can tell extends for the ball. But
Jabril
great
Peppers been
job by the
limited.
defender getting in there, making the
Meaning
hit,
now.
dislodging the
Now,
football
get in
out
here.
at the same time as he's going to catch it, and the big tight end couldn't hold on to it.
You know, come on. Anyway, go ahead.
When I spoke to
What do you say about Jabril? What do you say about Jabril?
he's rangy, right? He's really athletic. Like he's a playmaker. When he's out there, he is making plays, but he's saying, I'm concerned about him taking care of his body. And I think he said something very similar to
Intercepted. A first half turnover can swing momentum.
So I don't know how much of that
Return
is
takes it inside the 30,
continuation
down
or
to
just
the
kind of like
28
the
as
same
the
thing
defense
applies,
has him
or if
setting up
it
shop
might
from
becoming
there.
a little bit more commonplace that he just, he's getting it's a little bit more tougher to kind of bounce back because the way we talked about him during the spring, it seemed that
They'll christen this drive from the 28-yard line.
that Jabril was going to be that guy to rise up and probably
Looking to throw on first down.
alongside Jeremiah for Jerry wasn't here at that time. So
down, but he has
I'm a
enough to
little bit
move
curious
the chains.
that still have maybe some injuries.
And I love that play call. There's a great example of sudden change situation, right? Your defense gets the turnover, you get it right back the very first play. Let's be aggressive. Let's take a shot and see if we can catch the
You know,
defense
I think, though,
napping.
because we get asked a lot about what position can you least
Some
afford
hard
injuries
running there, but just
that we
too
think
many
going into the
defenders
season, and
to
obviously
stop
our answer is
the
always near the line of scrimmage. The
He's trying to do it
DBs,
all by himself. At the end of the day, it's a tackle for
what's
him.
great about that,
the number of tackles
only
he broke
because,
at some point,
but
somebody's
again,
got to get blocked to
with this
help
out,
the
if
guy out
Daryl
a
Jackson
little bit.
gets hurt,
Man, the defense
and
was
then
like
you
a
have
bunch
to
of
put in his
zombies on that
stuff.
last play. They just
Well, man,
would not
that's a
stop
big drop.
chasing that ball
It's a
carrier.
big drop in production, ability, talent.
They bring him down, but the big
Jabril
play
almost
will
gets
move the
dropped
stick.
or gets hurt, and you have to put in,
This
say,
offense is clicking,
Charles
and
Lester
clearly
or
everything is working.
Darius
The
good.
offensive coordinator
With
is calling
Darius
big
and
plays.
with
The
whoever you
quarterback
have,
and his
whoever you
unit is
put in,
executing.
they're-
And this defense
they
right
don't-
now,
they
they
seem to
have
be all
no
about
answers.
kind of similar,
To
which
the
is good
air.
and bad,
It's
right?
Underwood.
Like you don't have any superstar, you don't have a Jalen Ramsey or a Derwin
Fires to the
James,
big fella.
but you have maybe a lot of
Absolutely fearless
AJ
tackle,
Westbrook.
giving up size, still
like
got him on the
he
turn.
played. He was a good player his last year. His last year I thought he was good. You know what I mean? He was a good. You have a lot of not Jamie Robinson.
And now on second down for this offense. Here's the
Was the
handoff.
quarterback last year.
They
The
make the
Ventura
stop,
cycle was
but you
good,
can't
right?
give up 4 yards a chunk on
Maybe
the
that
ground down
because he
in this
wasn't a
area
he
of
wasn't
the
an
field
NFL
against
draft
the
pick, but he was a good college corner. I think
The
you have
Longhorns
guys
really
that
need
can
to
pull.
keep this drive alive
And
on
there's
third
not a
down.
lot separating your second best corner,
Got it,
your
looking
seventh
for
best
first.
corner, perhaps. So you can withstand some injuries, and you put in reasonable facsimile to that starter. He happens to go down.
Well, they were
If
counting
Daryl
on
Jackson
winning
gets
the
hurt, maybe if
one-on-one
James
battle.
Williams
They
gets
got
up
the
the also.
completion, but
If he
the
gets
yardage
hurt,
didn't work
well,
out.
that's where
Man,
you're
a
real
lot of times, man, that's what I do in
I think
short
you've
yardage
got a lot of kind of
situations.
interchangeable
Make my
works in the
guys fall
secondary.
forward for a
Nothing
couple
special
yards,
that we
try
know
to
of
get the
yet.
first down,
Nothing
but it's a good
incredible.
tackle, and
But
the
a bunch of
receiver
guys
got
that can probably
absolutely
play
nowhere
with
else to catch.
And so you just
Down to 2
you find
minutes
five that
before
can play
half,
together.
and they'll take the timeout and see if they can add a little more
defensive
before the break.
lineman. It's weird. You got the
So the
secondary
offense is
coach and then
going to
against
go
defensive
for it
line.
on fourth down.
Playing about getting access. Thank you.
He'll try to throw and pick up
got
the
names,
first down.
Mandrell and Darrell. Then we
Now he's
also
going
got
to
Jaden
glide away from
Jones.
pressure.
Breakout
The
star
Longhorns
this
will
spring.
move the sticks.
There's some guy.
And this offense, they
Very
don't want a field goal.
unexpected.
You can tell. They
Obviously,
want a touchdown.
the
They
thing that stood out
want
to me
points.
most was
Fourth down, going
that
for
we
it.
had
How about
two.
the QB, man? How about the poise?
So many
Dropping back
times.
to throw the football.
These
Nah,
players
it's not
get
open.
getting paid,
Nothing
but
there. I
it's
don't feel comfortable
where
with
you have a
it.
job,
He
you got a
absolutely
scholarship,
pulls
getting
the
paid
trigger,
money,
makes
need
the
to be
decision,
available, need to
toss
be
it, and
in
gets
the
the
lineup.
big
And if
fourth
you
down
can't
conversion.
be in the lineup as a fan, I'm not going to consider you playing part of the solution. You're not a guy that I'm talking to my friends about in a group chat about who I think is going to help this team get better.
Second down coming up
And
on this
just to
red
hear
zone
the way he
opportunity.
talked about where everything was going
Looking
through,
downfield,
you
it's
realize
Underwood.
for some of these guys,
He wants it
this is
all.
really tough.
And he was shooting for the
To
end
face
zone
kind
there,
of
and they
that
couldn't
adversity.
make the completion.
When
And you're not going to see many of
kind of in
those.
your hands,
That's
it's
a
not
gift for this defense. You don't see this guy miss very often, especially to put 6 on the board. That was a big missed opportunity for this quarterback and this offense.
Seriously.
Trying to move the sticks on third down
Feel
through
it,
the
but at the
air.
same time, really hope for it up.
Throw to the end zone, it's picked off.
Yeah, and again, he could be one of the really cool stories of the season if he plays as well as they're they're saying that he's
And you wonder if that interception is going to
Yeah,
bring
you
this
get
guy back
guys
down
like
to
that. And
reality
again,
a little
it
bit.
goes
He was
back to the whole
lights
reason
out early in this game. Everything he was throwing was right on the money. And
It's because
that might have been a decision where he got a little bit greedy, and David, the defense made him pay.
And this defense has seen it time and time. They've been throwing the football, having success. Nice job adjusting, breaking on the football, making a play. They needed to break serve. They needed something to happen to go their way to kind of mess this guy's rhythm up. That might be the start.
This is their year.
And that is just an attitude run,
really
running
good
it right up the middle, right into the teeth of that defense.
Yeah. Literally, I don't think anybody on this team has proven to be a really good college football.
They'll snap this one from the 32. It's first down.
And again, he's
Wants to go up top on first down. Makes the catch. It's
Yeah.
Hardy.
I guess. Yes,
That's a stiff
going to
arm.
be
He's going to be out of bounds, but not before he gets it to midfield. Handoff from the gun. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. They'll try to kick it into overdrive. Clock's running. Second down coming. Might be changing the route.
And Jake Jones has a lunge.
Wants to throw. He's working against the clock. Here's the heat. Nothing doing downfield. He'll cut his losses and throw it away. It'll be third down.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
And a missed opportunity on third down as the defense knocks it free, and fourth down
James
is
Jones
coming
being one
up.
of them, right? Like they
It's
all
so
have their unique
nice when you
stories,
know
but
it's
it's
third
kind
and
of
long,
cool.
you
Even
know
Daryl
a pass is
Jackson.
coming. You worked on it
He should
all
be the
week.
number one
Get
overall,
your feet
the
set
number
at
one
the
defensive
sticks.
tackle taken.
Understand
Not
that
even
quarterback's
close.
got to be
I don't
rushed.
think anywhere
Get him off of
remotely
his
close to
spot.
that.
Nice execution by this defense.
Something that might be his potential. James Williams has not proven anything like he should be an NFL player yet, but he's got that to prove.
This is the
On and
new
on,
wave
and
of
James Jones
offensive thinking,
fits
going
right in
for
there.
it, fourth and long from
Like I
their
said,
own
he was giving up
47.
And then here you go. I guess you're the host. Co-host. Co-host, I guess, but it feels like the host is the guy that does
Back in
most of
motion,
the
trying to clear the
introductions and
picture.
talking. So I feel like
On
I don't
fourth
deserve
down,
to
looking for the
co-host.
completion.
But I don't do most of the introduction. Like, hey, welcome to the show. That's what a host does.
They needed a bunch on fourth down, and boy, did they get it.
And I get aggressiveness. We get aggressiveness. We want to be aggressive, take shots down the field. First half, they felt like fourth and long. No big deal, and they get it. I imagine we'll get a few more of those.
There's a timeout on the field. Tight game here
It
late in the
ends up
first
being
half.
something, but it just falls in line with what so much of this football team is about.
This
It's
offense has
guys
had
that
trouble
have
getting
proven
it in
anything,
gear, but
that might
maybe
have
a
some
little
potential,
life
might
here
have
on
some real
first and
talent,
10.
but have proven nothing. It should be really, really hungry to prove they can play and play well. So that's what much like
Motion from
the
the
other
wideout.
defensive linemen you talk to.
The offense changing the play.
Because they haven't proven anything either, but oh my God, they seem like they're
To the
they're
air.
really
It's
determined
Moon.
and really hungry to make a difference.
He turns that loose down the right
What the
side.
fuck?
And that is interception number 3 on the day. And they come up with a big play to make sure no more points go on the board before the end of the half.
Out of the proper scripter, but again, I think everybody's rooting for this thing, right? Everyone's
What did he say?
Just mentioned that, the coaches told them, because like at that time when they had the exit interviews, the coaches was his
So let's see how they play it in this
defensive
final
end.
30 seconds of the first
Coach was
half.
defensive end, some special teams coach, and now he's the
They'll
linebacker.
come out on this drive
So
and
when they had
let
the
it
exit
rip.
interviews, actually,
And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls
just
to
like,
the turf.
I still believe in you. I think
Really nice pressure by the defense, getting in there
And they just
quickly,
talk about
getting a hit on the
positivity,
quarterback,
Mike
making the quarterback make a quick
Yeah.
decision, and he
Yeah,
makes
no
the
one's
wrong
gonna play
decision. He
violence.
throws
Mike
into double
Bell,
coverage,
me.
but that's really because of the
$10 million
pressure in his face and the physical hit.
There's a lot of frustration, I'm sure, next year, especially with next interview for both of them. And
Hard in the
he
backfield.
needs to tell that kid, like, hey,
Turning it
great
over.
kid.
And
That's
this
the
guy
man.
has
Just
some
seems like you're snake
shiftiness
bitten.
to him, and he
We need all
showed
the
it
help
off
we
to
can
the
get. You
defense
guys have
after
to
picking
rely
up a
on.
few.
And I know we have 105 scholarships now. We don't need all 105. I have some guys that those are
They'll
good
go
scout
to the
team
air on
players.
third and short.
Good guys.
Got it in the middle, it's Bell. He'll be brought down, and that's the final play of the half.
This kid, because Donald's a Michigan guy that for 2 straight years blew out his knee. He's been a great that ended up being a pretty good career, but it doesn't feel like it's very commonplace. So, I don't know, I guess it's kudos to John for saying the right things and believing in that kid, and hopefully we'll see him make a sack against his hometown.
Here he comes from inside his own 5. Nice job executing all of the
let's not have them
assignments.
take any fouls just yet.
Return at the
Jay
22.
Jones hasn't done anything, so maybe it ends up not being the best decision. That said, that would be awesome if it is in the way they talked about him. So as we sit here in the middle of August, it looks like it was a really good decision because it certainly seems like he could be a factor on this defense early.
All right, what are the Sear twins? Still one thing I can tell them apart. The inside
Might be calling a hot
for
route.
everybody.
To the air,
They
it's
run
Moon.
first right now.
Extending the play. With the catch, it's Davis. Finally corralled and not before. He picked up the first
Spain.
down.
Monty.
Nice job by the receiver
Now
at
that's
the
just
back
Monty.
end there, too. He sees his quarterback on the run moving, and he just works to get himself open to give his guy a place to throw the football. They're able to connect, and they keep the drive going.
Starting a drive like that really builds confidence. First down from the 45.
We didn't know. They didn't say who it was.
Unloads quickly.
Yes,
That's
I
a really good tackle there, giving up some size and still making the play.
Maybe that's my
You
need.
see tight end matchups all over the field all the time now. You used to just be in the red zone. Now you just find the big fella, you put him in the slot, try to give him the ball as much as possible because you know he can make big plays.
Anyhow, so we got
They'll leave it with him. And they'll bring him to the ground after a short
between
game.
the 2 kids.
The Seminoles are in the hurry up.
It's where they get their sort of toughness from.
Third and
because I
long,
think
and he'll try
that's
to throw
what
for it.
Talking about what stood out.
Got his man
I was
downfield.
curious about where they get
Gives
this
him the
confidence.
big stiff
I
arm.
think it was
Shoved
Garrett who
out
said
of
that he
bounds.
just goes with the
They'll mark him
mindset
down
that
to the 15-yard
he's
line,
lining up
and
against
this
doesn't have the
offense is
same
doing work.
That's all right, man. That's a pretty bold thing to think when you're 18 years old, but I like it. I'm here for it. Again, they're physically impressive. They're both extremely intertwined and connected as identical twins. And no reason to think that they won't factor into at least some sort of rotation to help this team out, which
Looking to pass inside the red zone.
the attack, but they have full bodies.
Oh, that baby in and then strolled.
Did they address which one is better?
Now, somebody
They scored for the big fella here. Why are tight ends so effective in the red zone?
Well, these aren't the guys that are going to burn by you and go for 70 most of the time, but when you can use their big body frames, threaten them to run the football and be a blocker in the running game, and now you slip them in the secondary, make that big play.
The other,
And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return.
The media and was watching his brother when he was at the podium, and then when Mandrell went up, Darryl stayed to listen to him. Usually the players, once they're done, they're out, they're getting treatment, they're getting food, they're getting whatever, they're getting on the way. But they both like hung around, watched the other one go.
The drive starts from their own 25-yard line.
The next Rondé and Kiki.
Off play action on first down. He's going to let one fly down the middle.
Twins.
Mason ran for a big play. And they were looking for a chunk play, and they got it. The explosive picks up more than 30.
Considering putting in your top 4.
One big play can really flip the script of a drive. It's first and 10 from just outside the 30.
Freshman playing that
From
close
the
to
gun, the
ball.
ground game.
Have you heard enough from enough different people that makes you think that,
Sweet cut
yeah,
there.
these kids, it's not
Stop
that
is
they're
made
just
at
good
the
for freshmen.
22. A 10-yard
They're just
pickup
good
and a
players, even
first
though maybe
down
this
just
defensive line
outside the red
isn't
zone.
as developed as we
You just sense the frustration starting to build, not
It's
only on
a good
offense, but I
question.
think with this
I wonder
running
if-
back as
flip
well.
the-
He
flip
is
the
so
question.
talented.
Say you
He's
brought
had some
Bama.
massive games
That's the name of the
throughout
website,
his
right?
career. Just haven't been.
Yeah.
There we go.
There were a lot of coaches and
Nice pick up
posters.
on the ground there, and they'll move the sticks with the
These two
first down.
incoming sets of
This
twins.
shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. If you've got the lead in the third quarter and you want to keep it, you got to bleed the clock. Best way to do that, run the football. And you're now seeing this offense
It was getting
call
a lot
these
of
run
love
plays
in
back
the
to
preseason
back.
for
They
how
are
well they
trying to
played,
be
how hard they
physical,
played,
and trying to
physical,
stay on the
but
field.
they got a chance to be in the
And this
rotation.
one will be
If it was
stopped for no
Alabama,
gain.
would you be like, oh
Great job
no?
of contained by this
Those-
defense.
I bet
And in
those
order
guys
to
are gonna
do
be
that,
in.
the end man on the
Would
line
you
of
be now
scrimmage
worried
defensively
because
has
you're
got to
like,
be able to set the
they're still
point
true freshmen?
and force the football
point out,
back
no.
into traffic.
Yeah, I guess it makes
Exactly.
sense. The Southern I'd be like, heck, this guy's
Defense
everything.
rose
Just
up
can't
deep in
miss.
its own end on that last play. Now a second and long
Yeah,
coming.
I mean, that defense play
James
that they were
incomplete
talking
to the
about.
right.
Again,
They get it down to the
bit of
7
a
on that
sucker
pass
for
play in
recruiting
prime
rankings.
position for a
I think
score.
Mantrell is the higher ranked of the
It's
two.
third and
I think
goal
I
and third and
200.
long.
Check that before I said that.
Looking for a man.
Podcast
It's
people
Underwood.
listen to, but yeah, I would think with that
Quarterback
profile, I'd be like,
adapted.
well, I feel like
Got
they're
away from trouble
not
and
in
got
great
rid of it.
shakes.
And it's incomplete on third down.
Yeah, right, every
And this is the part of the field, man, you really got to have a plan because these windows get smaller and you're trying to fit that ball into the end zone. It's difficult to do. Quarterback, receivers, they got to be on the same page.
Obviously, if you take a step back and you're like, man,
Splits the uprights.
what
Good.
kind of defensive
And
line
they'll
do you
push that
have?
lead out a
Running
little further.
talent.
They were able to get a field goal on the board, and now they'll kick it away.
Certainly not by Florida State.
Man,
Historic
so
Florida
many
State
more
standards.
times we're going to say, go for it, be aggressive.
And
Nice to
you're
have
like
a
the
guy
top
you
of the
can
game.
depend on,
Like,
and you
what
know
have
you're putting
what
3 on the
roster you
board.
put together?
Nice
What kind
kick,
of depth chart
nice
you put
job.
together for these two
Nice
guys
job
that you can
executing
star?
all of the
You know,
assignments
maybe
they
one
put a
for
stop to
Daryl's
that return at the
I apologize.
22.
Daryl's the highest or higher ranked of the two. He's a 4-star Mantrell's either one.
They'll snap this one to start the drive from their own 22.
354th player in the country.
Right.
And Mantrell was composite 750th.
And they're
Comes out
turning
throwing.
heads to this degree.
Got a man. It's
Maybe
Hardy.
it says more about
And
what
maybe
you
he'll
put
get
together
back to the line of scrimmage, but no more
than
than
it does
that.
about them.
So
And
now
that's
it's
glass half
second
empty.
and
It
long.
could be, like I said, I think it's the perspective of
Wants to adjust
2
the
and 10,
pattern.
not proven to be a great high school recruiter yet. And then these two guys come in or the talk of the town. You're like, yeah, man, because it could be because none of the other guys around actually play that hard or play that physical or very good.
Got it
Except
in
there.
the middle. It's Boston.
So maybe that has nothing to
And
do
the
with it.
defense
Them
had
being
that
awesome.
one well covered. Just a
There
short
was a
game
chance
there.
that they're awesome.
And this offense just
Yeah,
can't
the Vikes may not
afford
be
not
awesome.
to get the first down here. Already trailing
They
big,
might be.
and the clock is
Real
not
deal,
their
you might
friend.
be people. There might be a bunch of this year
Tagged in the middle.
jerseys
It's Boston.
being worn.
There to make the
So the next
tackle, and with
years,
that,
they might
we'll
have
head
been
to
like
the fourth quarter.
and actually turned out to be friends. And they happen to be related.
Here comes the fourth. Time to see who steps up, who makes the winning plays to take home that W.
Instead of seeing double,
Yeah. I'll workshop on this argument.
we'll workshop it. Yeah, let's go back. I like the idea. I like where your head's at. But we can do
They'll go back to work with the
thing,
first
but that's
down
not
in the
bad.
final period.
To see your evil, like see no evil, but you do see evil because no, that doesn't work either. Guys, this is how magic happens. So you think
Back to throw.
not everything
It's
is like the
moved.
Beatles going in and right Hey Jude in 9 minutes.
Fires
Like,
to the
sometimes
wideout.
it takes a while.
And the
You know,
physical
Hardy
play
waking up and he's got
forces the incompletion on
yesterday just
first
in his
down.
head. He just writes it down in 10 minutes and sings it to John Lennon. Sometimes
Now
it takes.
inside 4 minutes
But
to go
I think
here
there's a
on
chance these
second
guys
down.
might be legitimate, like high level football players. What gives me hope about that is I think Boston's mentioned him. I know Tony White's mentioned him, and I know Terrence Knight and Mike Norvell mentioned him. And it's not like these guys were high school coaches last year.
After the
Mike
incompletion, back
Norvell's
to the
coached
passing
pretty good
game.
dudes on the defensive line.
Another interception. This guy
Mike
just
kind
can't
of pretty
find
bad
his
at the
own
defensive line
players.
last year. In
Didn't
Nebraska
get
the
a
last 2
ton on
years.
the return,
And
but the
Terrence
most
Knight was
important
bad.
thing, he
He
got
played
the
late.
ball, and they've got it at the
So for
48.
them to be talking about these guys, Lynn
So
Speed
Texas
makes
has it
me
again,
think
and
that
here
this
comes
might be
the
legit.
offense.
I can
Had to
understand
settle for the
Ron's.
chip
You
shot
can look at it two
field goal
different ways.
last
Where you're
time,
like, God,
Jesse.
if
They
you
look
talk
for
to
this
Ken,
one to pay off bigger.
and they
Yeah,
bring
it
in
just
that
comes down to
this isn't
execution.
Timmy
They
Jernigan,
did a nice
Mario
job out in
Edwards.
the
These were
field,
the
stalled a
5-star
little
super
bit once
duper
they got
guys.
down to the goal line, so they just need to be a
And
little bit
maybe
more crisp here.
this is going to be a rough year for the defensive line, which it could be.
You got to put the
Maybe
drive
these guys
together
just that
first to
good.
get down there.
And they could be one of those great
focus on
unicorns.
execution.
I guess it's not a unicorn. There's 2 of them. Unicorn twins. That
They'll run play action.
They can play and play around. Even as
Feeling that pressure, and he's
defensive
knocked
line,
down
which would be
at
crazy.
42.
Oftentimes with play action, you're asking the quarterback to hold on to the ball a little bit longer. You're asking this offensive line to hold up and pass for a bit longer. Against this athletic front seven on defense, it's going to be
7
tough.
p.m. and then all day Sunday.
Looking to the big tight end.
40 television
Snagged on the
screens.
outside. It's Davis.
0.
They make the
Series
stop
action
about
after
4
Corey Clarkson.
yards short of the first
Trying to find
down.
out where he's there. So
And
So,
wait
don't
just
let
a
that-
second. The official's
It's
going
gone.
to take a second look
You know,
at this one.
it's just gone.
these cold drinks, delicious food, 40 televisions, as I mentioned, arts, billiards, a
After
jukebox,
taking
sometimes
another
even live
look just to
music.
confirm
It's
everything,
you want
the
your favorite
officials on the
sports
field
bar.
got it right. Play will stand. They already have a comfortable lead, up by multiple possessions, but they're going to go for it here on fourth down.
The eve of the
The
Alabama.
incomplete pass makes this series end in frustration as they turn it over on downs.
I think that might be the very definition of just trying to rub salt in the wound, right? You got the lead, multiple possessions, you're looking really, really good. Late in the ball game, and you go for it again. So you just try to, listen, it's their job to stop the offense, doing what they do. It's your defense, get a stop. That's your job, and you did it.
Was there anything else in the
They'll
news of
start
the day
this
that I missed?
drive from the
while you
42.
record this?
Dropping back, it's moved.
Quickly
to the
7.
tight end.
My question to
He puts him in
what's the
business
first
across
game
the
of the
50
season
into
do you
the
remember
46-yard
as being the
line.
biggest
It'll be
announcement
first
of
down.
college football that we
All
were
right,
going to be
defense,
in?
got to turn the page. You just gave up an explosive play through the air, but here comes the offense going quickly. You got to get lined up now and get ready for another one.
That's the first one
Here
that comes
comes
to
the
mind
heat.
because
Hit
you knew they had
hard
time.
just as he released it on first down and just
The
couldn't get
quarterback
it
looked
to the
like the best
receiver.
quarterback that ever
Well,
lived.
this has been a day
in
to
that
forget
in those
if
four
you're
quarters.
this quarterback. And I got to be
So-
honest, guys,
it
I'm
was so-
surprised he's still even in the game
Like any Jimbo
because he's had
offense we had
zero
seen,
rhythm.
that
He
you're
hasn't
like,
been
oh,
accurate.
good
He's
grief,
thrown
if
a
this is
ton
what
of
it's going to be like,
interceptions. Most
then
coaches
they're
would
going to
have pulled their
steamroll
guy
every.
by now. I know the guy I played for
It's gonna
back in
be really
college.
fun.
He would have
So-
pulled me about
But
2
even then, they were like
interceptions ago.
11th, 12th.
Making
in the
side
season.
adjustments here.
13th. So they were
They'll
thought
move
to
the
be
wide
pretty good.
receiver.
Yeah, but still, that to me seems like for a season opener,
And back to
that
the
to
air
me
on
seems like the
second
one
down.
that
Moves
comes to
around
mind
to
the
clear
most.
up the vision. Plenty of times he
Stand
fires it to the
Meadowlands
right.
against King.
He's finally stopped, but not
Yeah,
before
you
he takes it
know,
into the red
because
zone.
you knew
They'll
we were
mark
gonna win
it
that
off
game.
18. The
But
Noles want to pick up the tempo.
performance, yeah, maybe because of the defense. Because what's funny is even Bowden in that preseason was like, our
From the
offense is
red
going to have to
zone,
carry us
looking
for
for a space.
We got a lot of
Throws to the wide
defense.
out.
I think he's like, I think
It's
we'll be good by the end of the year. But
Takes
we're
it
going to be
all the
pretty.
way down to the
We're going to have to catch up quick.
grab, and
We're
they're
going to have
set
some
up.
growing pains on defense.
Seminoles
And then they
trying
go
to
and
get a
shut out, I
touchdown
think,
on
like
first
3
and
of the
goal.
first 4 opponents. They just lost Marvin Jones and some other, like maybe Dan Footman, but they lost some really good players, Marvin being the chief among them. So maybe that, just from that perspective, like, neat. Like, we knew the offense was going to be good because Charlie was back in the
Going up
defense
top
break, and
again.
nobody ever thought to,
Fires to the end
you know,
zone.
the quarterback was
This
short.
is
Before Florida State revolutionized the sport
touchdown, so let's
and
not
put
put
more wide
this one to
receivers
bed
on.
just yet.
The
But
good
yeah,
news
that
is you
game,
scored a touchdown.
it also
You
seemed
made this a
pretty dumb.
one-possession game. The bad news is you got to
Just
get the
even
ball
as the
back.
first
If you're
string
the
running
head
back
coach,
or
you got to
third
start
string,
thinking,
I think
how are we going to
think
do
it's
that? Are
third
we
string.
going onside
Get a
kick,
couple
or do we
kick
trust our
offense different.
defense to give it back to the other?
Maybe 93, but they were already, I think they were
try.
number 1 or number 2 in the country going into, they were number 1, I think, going into that game. So the whole field was
Try to
already
surge
on
it in.
us.
They'll knock him down
Same
for
with
a
the
loss of a
context of the
couple.
question.
Yeah, and
Me
the defense
personally, I think
comes
it's
up
the
with the stop, and you
2013
just wonder
because you
the
went from
analytics world and all that stuff that whatever the
People-
card says to do, you're supposed to do.
Florida game
I
and
wonder
NC
if
State
they're
game
listening to
in
that card.
2012. Let down. He
And
had
no
a
chance
chance,
at a
couple of
return.
chances
Here
to win a
they'll start this
championship.
drive at their
And
own
then for the very
25.
first game the next year with a freshman quarterback, to look like that, you're like, oh boy. And they were, they're the best team in the country pretty much 4 straight months.
They'll
Next
put this
question.
one in play
Jericho
first snap of the
15-18.
drive
I don't
from
know
the
anything.
25.
I just want to know if the receivers this year can catch. I'm convinced that that'll
It's Underwood.
cost us a couple games last year based on Cam.
Just a short pass to the tight end. Breaks into the open. That one could really put this drive into high gear as they have a first down at the 37. Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense.
It wasn't as, I don't think, maybe I have to go back and listen to the shows. It's not like I don't remember coming on these, putting this headset on, talking to my man
They've
Aslan,
got it at the
and being like,
37. It's first and 10.
receivers have a hell of a day. The receivers look unguardable. Like they
They'll
had
keep it
better
on the
days.
ground. The clock is
There
on
were
their
days when they
side.
were actually better than the
I tell
DBs.
you what, it's
But
really
more
nice
often
at
than
this
not, we
point
were
in the
kind of
game if you
lamenting,
can
especially
lean on
Aslan.
your run game. When you
Like,
have
yeah, I
the
don't really
lead,
see a lot
you've
of
got
great
the
stuff
football
from
late in the
receivers.
game. You can see
And
that clock
the man
and start
dropping,
to really make that defense have a little bit of panic.
Diminishing that.
Wants to
It's-
fire on second down. He's got an
Getting
open man.
is the first
That's
down.
where they'll mark him a
Not
very
catching the ball.
productive play
Because
and a first
there's
down.
not a ton of plays.
Nice
Yeah,
pitch
there's,
and catch
like,
there
there's
from
the
QB
frontier
to
drop
wide
it's
receiver.
due.
Great job.
And there's some
that
other
route
drops,
is all
but
about
by and
timing.
large, the reason
1, 2,
Florida
3,
State's
boom,
wide
break
receivers
out,
weren't
throw
very
it to
good
him
last
right
year
now. Great
wasn't
pitch,
because
great
they couldn't catch the ball. Because they couldn't get
Through
on
the defense. Defense uses a
They
timeout
did.
quickly,
Sometimes
trying
they
to
didn't have
get
time
that
to get
ball
up.
back and
So
preserve
Roman Hunt
time
was
for their
in
offense.
the fetal position with 3 guys on by the time they were making their break. So it was hard
At
all
this
around.
point, the
Right?
defense has
Can
little
they get
choice but to
can they
sell
get
out to
can they
stop the
can they
run
shake
on
the
2nd
defenders?
and 7.
Can they find some spots and zones? And can they do something with the ball after they catch it?
Back
That to
to
me is
pass.
much more important than just pure drops.
And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical
That's what I
matchup
was saying.
there.
That's
Third
what I
down
was saying with
coming.
Johnny. Listen, Johnny would make you want to tear your hair out sometimes on those dribbles. Like, you can live with a few of them. If
Trying
he's
to pick
also
up
making
a
those
first
special
down.
plays, which he did almost every game that you needed him to. He made some special plays. And live with Deuce Robinson making a drop to even a
The give to the back.
Johnny had a couple of really bad ones.
He's going to be a little
23.
short. It'll
He
be
also
fourth
finished with
down
over
from the
100
44.
So you can live with a couple of them, but the biggest key is getting open and getting open to where the quarterback can throw it to you, and then after you have the ball in your hands,
No
doing something.
sign of the punt team as they
Anyway,
will go
we have
for it
not
and try
heard
to
that
move
drops
those
been an issue,
chains.
but I'm not concerned with that. I think, and those could be famous last words. Me, the biggest deal by far is can these guys get open and make plays?
It's the fact that Gus pretty much told us that he's got 3 guys that he's relying on. Let us, with the implication that they're reliable, catching the ball.
Fourth down, gotta
Yes.
have it here.
And he said 3 that had separated themselves, and it's the Boggs, Scrollite, Deuce.
Unloads to the
But
wide
yes,
out.
yeah, man.
And it's knocked away, and they don't
I
convert
assume
on
they're
fourth
doing well.
down.
I assume.
What a
And
great
here's the
stop
thing,
in a
it's in a
big
trouble
moment
pass.
for this defense. Nice job
Reed
getting the
wrote this
stop.
up.
Now listen, the ball goes back to the offense, and this has a chance now to
Drops in
be
Florida
a
State
great
history.
finish. That was a clutch stand for this defense.
3. International.
He wants to change this route.
Defense looks lost. It's 5 minutes left in the second quarter. They're getting blown out. They're getting kind of embarrassed.
Looking to throw, it's Moon.
For a first down, and he just
Here's
kind
a
of
throw downfield late.
and start to turn the
Pulls it
field.
in down the
Rehab
sideline.
and
And wisely gets out of bounds to stop the clock. They got the first down. Now
But that
it
was
was
a
territory and a chance to save
that
themselves.
doesn't take away from what he did the rest of the game.
Here's this
Man,
offense
also,
with a
they,
fresh set of downs.
Fake punt. Run came right after that, so they kept the drive going and then went down and scored. But the only reason they had to run the fake punt because Rashawn dropped the wide open third down catch that would have been a first down. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Drops are bad. I get it. But I'm much more interested in the special guy. Peter Ward
Looking
dropped balls.
downfield on
Like they
first down.
really bad drop.
Dances away.
Big. I got
How
give up on
about
the
getting
guys.
the foot down
And
on that
you only get
throw
open.
with a big
And
completion.
if you're open,
And they've trusted their QB
that's
to
good.
throw
We'll
the
come back to you.
football. And he's
Not
going to
just
have
that
to
time.
make
Make sure
plays.
you
He's made
catch it.
plays throughout the day. This is now
Percentage
when you
chance
come up
you
clutch
put this-
in a big moment
Not
when
a
your
bad
team needs
basketball
it.
question,
If
so
that's
it's
any
gonna go out.
indication, I like what I'm
Oh,
seeing.
good. I can't wait.
What kind of percentage would you put on Luke Kromenhoek still being here if Kentron had made that catch?
A little too anxious
5%.
on that offensive line. That'll be a false start.
Man, I think
The
that's
official
one,
is
right?
offered the
If you're
deal,
talking
and
about
the coach
a game they
accepts that
lost
they will
because of
take the
drops,
penalty.
it's that one. Because that's a touchdown. And one touchdown would have won that game. You never know how the game's going to play out any different. Maybe Duke doesn't go into a
Offense
shell
set on first down.
as much on offense if they're behind. But that's by far the biggest drop of the season. I would say less than 10. The only thing you don't know is when you make a throw like that and you win a game as a quarterback, what that does for your confidence
Out
level.
of the
You start
gun,
to
looking
trust
to
what you're
throw.
seeing. Maybe that helps.
Into the
But I
end
don't
zone.
know, man. I don't know. You would certainly hope that Luke Kromenhoek, and he might prove to be a fine college quarterback. One drop doesn't dictate his entire career.
And they've trusted him to
Like,
throw
I
the
feel like he
football
kind of
all
was when
week.
he
I
was.
expect
Which
nothing
the
to
guy
change
that
whatsoever.
watched the rush
They're
way
gonna
too
put it on
much,
his
did not have
back
any
or
pocket
his arm, I
comfortability
guess you
at
could
all.
say, and let him throw this team to victory.
But even when there was, he didn't see it. He didn't see it quick. He didn't let it rip. And he was a
Back
true
to
freshman
pass,
going
it's
through true
moved.
freshman pains. I think that's still been the case, even if Kentron catches
And with that,
that.
they
But
move
Kentron,
out front here in the fourth.
Man, what a great job by this offense executing down the field, using all of the clock, being smart, getting the big score late, and I think that one should be it.
Quick work on that
Security
scoring
has
drive,
to
just 4
snap.
plays. They're set to kick it
Get
off.
out.
What the fuck, man?
Get behind them.
You're gonna get a little tipsy one night. And by little, I mean a lot. And they're going to lose their wallet. When's the last time you guys lost your wallet?
Finally stopped after a solid return out to the 32.
Wish I had Ridge and their great wallets that now have air compatibility. So,
from their own 32.
Slips right into your money clip on your Ridge wallet.
Throw on first down.
Your wallet.
Here's the pressure.
Takes a hit. Track it with the air tag.
And man, this is a tough spot to be in as this offense.
And they also give you the peace of mind of a lifetime warranty. Free shipping. That means retry.
The clock where it is, you have to get somewhere down the field to give yourself a chance, an opportunity to maybe be successful at the end of this football.
No time to waste here. They've got to get set and pick up chunk yardage. Off play action. Stands in and takes the hit. Makes the grab on the left side. And they fight him to the bitter end, all the way down to putting some more numbers in the stat column, but they'll come up a little short as time expires. That's the entire scenario you build up in your head in the backyard. Final drive, everything on the line, and you get the W.
So dang cool. How many times did you do it in your backyard, just like that, like you're talking about, Reese, making the play to win the game on the final drive when your team needed it the most, Jesse, just coming through in the clutch.
Yeah, as players, you love this, and that's why you rep it in practice throughout the week, these 2-minute type situations late in games. What are you going to dial up? What can you go execute?